Well, hello once again. Well, wait, did I start this with hello again? Damn it, I did. Yeah. I guess it's just going to be the thing. I'm just going to say hello like three times. Welcome once again to the Hungry Bleek podcast. I am Antonio Pomares, and I'm not even going to play around with this one. It's Friday. It's payday. I'm feeling kind of sinister. I'm feeling some villainous vibes. So I think I needed to have these two gentlemen on because they definitely are bringing something villainous your way. So before any further ado, let me bring this first cat on. I spoke to him a couple months ago on Fan Initiative, which is other podcast I co-host with my partner Michael. Enjoyed it very much. It was about Joystick Angels. Very excited for that one as well. He is a writer, artist, just all around. Both of these guys are just all around incredible human beings, just absolutely the best. You know him from Array Comics. You know him from wearing tank tops out at these cons because it's hot. You know him for the illustrious beard that this gentleman has going on. The beard is luxurious. Him and Michael could have a battle of the beards. I would actually pay pay-per-view prices for that. You know him from Array Comics. You know him from Okimus. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if I've ever said that out loud. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know him from Joystick Angels, and you're gonna know him for this new project that he has, and he is one half of this incredible tag team that I'm gonna have on. I'm gonna bring them both on, but let me first bring you TJ Sterling.
That's it. What up, yo? What's going on? It's a double salute for my people out here. What's up?
The double. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fantastic, man. That's like the best intro. I felt like, wrestling music. I need some pyrotechnics and some explosions and, you know what I'm saying? Some beautiful women running behind me or something. Like
Well,
that dude, man.
Well, we're going to do another introduction. And this is going to be a tag team partner for today, man.
Let's go.
I'm the manager. Y'all are the tag team running out.
Let's go.
So this guy right here.
New day. It's a new day, yo. A new day.
Don't even get me started on those cats. I love them cats. And y'all are bringing positivity. But I positively need this gentleman to come up, step up. Look, Dream Fury. Look, check the shirt. Check the shirt. This is one of the newest from Dream Fury Comics. Crescent City Monsters I've spoken about this, one of my favorite comics as far as horror and comics in general. Beautiful, incredible stuff that is being out there. And along with you, TJ, bringing something villainous our way. And I love it. I saw just a little bit, just a drop of what was going on, and I dig it. This gentleman is a writer, and I actually had him on the show few months back, and we talked about one night in Miami. Had the best time talking to him. I loved it. It was a Sunday conversation too, which is awesome. Made it even better. It was like having brunch without food, and I dig it. This guy, get to know Dream Fury Comics, get to know Ray Comics, and get to know what they're going to be bringing up. Your tag team partner for this evening, Newton Lilavois.
Tapped in.
Bam.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just having some fun here, man. Thanks for the intro, man.
Look, man, how could I not have y'all come at? Like TJ dropped a little knowledge, this little gem about me and a Newton, man. We got something going on, Villainous, and I was like, what? Stuck in the back of my head. Then I started seeing like the IG page up, and I was like, okay. I saw the art, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. So when TJ told you, did he like whisper it? Was he like, yo, me and the guys?
He said it, but he didn't say everything. He was like, we got something. And I'm like, wait, two of my favorite creators are going to be like combining their powers. Like it's
Dragon Ball Z fusion. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. For real.
Like this is awesome.
Earrings, just a mesh. You know what I mean?
So how did the two of you get together on this project, Villainous?
Yeah, so TJ approached me, I think sometime last year. Was it August, I think?
It was about a year ago and some change.
Yeah, August, yeah. And, TJ and I had known each other for a couple of years by then, we actually know each other. You know, we've seen each other at cons. We've hung out. We've talked. So there was already like that relationship there. And when he approached me, he was like, "Yo, let's do something." And I was like, "Cool," because the collaborations really for me is a lot of work, and to be able to collaborate with somebody, you really have to trust them. And I've seen TJ, his creativity, the way he does business is in line with everything I do. So I was like, yeah, for sure. And I knew, and we didn't even really have an idea. We just like, yo, let's just collaborate. And I knew whatever we came up with was gonna be good, and it's something that I enjoy, you know, and that's how it started. You want to add something to that, CJ?
Yeah, I mean that's it's the truth. I mean, I think that I know for a fact that collaboration is something that does take a lot of work, and you really got to have good synergy with an individual who you're collaborating with. I mean, it's like you're marrying two types of energies, two types of thought process, two types of styles, and you also have to approach it from a point of respect, because like without that, you can't really you can't really see like how dope another person's perspective is if you're not completely trusting what they have to bring to the table. So, I mean, I said I've always loved the stuff that Newton's worked on. I think the vision that he had for his book was so different and unique. It really reminded me of like how I think about my stuff. Like I try to create ideas and stuff that's just hasn't been seen yet, or we haven't touched that, or we haven't done this yet. And that's why I said when Newton and I first connect, I was like, yo, what type of story have you and I both not done yet? That was like the first question. And then we were like, yo, well, we haven't done this, we haven't done that. I'm like, yo, well, what about cyberpunk? You know what I'm saying? Like Afro punk, future, noir, mixing these elements, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that, and it clicked. Like we just came to us while we were having a regular conversation, just like two boys, two friends would. An idea kind of springs forth, and it was really something that had some legs, and we didn't even know it at the time.
Yeah, that was interesting because it was like just pretty much like TJ described. It was like a session where we're just, if we were rappers, we would just be spitting bars at each other, you know,
Ooh.
back and forth, because it just grew. Yeah, it just like grew
All right.
organically. You know, it was like, yeah, let's do something sci-fi. Then it was like, yeah, let's do some cyberpunk thing and with elements of Afro punk in it. Let's make the let's flip it and let's make the villain the hero. You know, so it was that kind of thing. And at the same time, we wanted to have some kind of like social commentary uh, underlined in the book, but just dare kind of like sending a message, but at the same time creating a book that's fun, with a lot of action.
See, that's what I love. For some reason, I was thinking about this earlier today too. Like when there's a project, whether it's a movie, a comic, a novel, what have you, where there are levels where there's going to be a social commentary, but say if it might fly over someone's head, they're still able to enjoy the actual fun of the book itself, still have the
Yep.
story and the art and everything. So it could be enjoyed on multiple levels. And that's what I find with both of your works.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
thanks, man.
and it's a beautiful thing to have that, to be able to go. And I feel like the two of you together, it is effortless. Like obviously you're putting an effort, you're putting your best into it, because I mean I can't see either one of you going less than 150 on anything that you do, obviously. But I feel like you guys are at this point where, and I love this, where you're constantly just putting out your quality work, and it just gets ratcheted up each time you put something out. And I've seen it in your work, the progress of storytelling, art, consistency, and how you going. And that's why I know the two of you together, this is going to be a diabolical thing, honestly.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I appreciate the acknowledgement of the progression. Because as much as people love our work, I think TJ and I are always on that mindset that
Yeah,
we're just going to get better. What you see now is just the beginning. Wait till you see us in the future. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Facts.
Exactly. Like seeing y'all, like thinking about it, you, like the both of you say like in 5 years, and seeing your work now, which is dope. but then you add that 5 years onto it, letting it marinate, and you're getting even more comfortable in your roles, but still learning more and more, and just adding onto your skill sets.
Yep,
It's
yep.
just it's amazing. So I'm glad that the two of you got together for this. Now, what can you tell us about, without spoiling anything or putting out too much, or what, put out whatever you're comfortable with, obviously, but what is the project Villainous? What is it about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to take it, TJ?
sure. I mean, so when we were thinking, cyberpunk, we were thinking, Afro punk, noir.
Mm,
We love these like gritty genres of like a not necessarily super dystopian, but just a genre that, could really, you could see all these different elements spliced together. You know what I'm saying? What I love
right.
about cyberpunk or even steampunk, for example, is just the mixture of different types of tech, as well as old school, new school, futuristic. And we started thinking
Yeah.
about some of the movies we like, some of the characters we like. And then, me being, one of an artist, part of this group, like I started sketching out the ideas of what Shatter could look like. And I wanted
Mm,
to give this kind of uh, Phantom of the Opera-esque,
ooh,
Predator-ish, you know what I'm saying, type of look with like a broken mask. And I really wanted to have like a character that was, someone that you kind of didn't really like at first, like at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody you could just be like, man, bump this guy. Like, he's doing some wild stuff. I can't get behind that. And I think that's why like so many people think about characters like, let's say, Deadpool. Deadpool started out as like a straight villain, killing people, doing all kinds of
yep.
wild stuff, but he eventually becomes this guy that people really love, even though he's still technically a villain. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So we were approaching it from that standpoint and wanted to tell a story that was speaking to all the crazy stuff that was going on socially at the time. Right when we started working on the story, a lot of the stuff with George Floyd was happening,
Yeah.
those protests, a lot of all the police brutality killings and stuff that happened even before that was always kind of right in the forefront of me and Newton's mind when we started working on this. And we wanted to have a story where there was a character that could be like an enemy of the state that is effectively speaking directly to that, fighting against it, and wanting to kind of balance things out. So it comes down to a question of what is a villain. And we are introduced to our main character, Shatter, in the very first book. Um, kind of, how do I say this? Taking care of some people who are very unscrupulous in society. You know what I'm saying? But they might
Okay.
not seem like that. They may seem, kind of perfect or kind of ideal or polished within the society, but he's basically kind of handling that. And then we also see another young black lawyer by the name of Malik. And Malik is kind of, his story is paralleling Shatters, and we just don't really know how those two are going to mix or what happens or how they're involved. And we kind of explore a little bit of that issue by issue.
Okay.
Yeah, and the story is, you can tell by TJ's description, is definitely layered. And the approach that we took with the storytelling, I think, is not the typical approach. It's definitely something different. We try to, in this story in particular with Villainous, we're trying to upend everything from the world to the characters to the way the story progresses. Everything is going to be not what you expect in a typical comic book. It's not going to follow the patterns that you recognize in any way or fashion. Like, I think something inherent that both TJ and I kind of like inherited or kind of like absorbed this mindset is that we just want everything to be topsy turvy. Like anything the way you expect the story, the way you expect the characters, don't expect it out of Villainous. We want to keep you on edge. We want to evoke real deep emotions. We don't want you to just think like, oh wow, this is a cool character. We want you to either be mad, angry,
Mhm.
either cursing us out or clapping for us. Either way, we'll take it. So we're trying to evoke some
Okay.
kind of like strong emotion in the story. So expect a lot of that. We're trying to pinch some nerves. Um, and I hope people appreciate the story for that.
I love the idea that when this story started to really take form and take shape, everything was going on. Because I remember that was a hot summer, and I'm not just talking about the temperature. There was a lot going on. There were a lot of feelings, and there were a lot of us Black people who were just like, you know what? Just somebody say something. Somebody said a wrong word today. I mean, we were all at that point. Like, you'd be standing in line just waiting. Like, I got this mask on. It's hot, and you're gonna say something in my ear. Today's not the day. Just don't. So to see that helped in the process of creating a story and putting it in there, and for you to want people to be uncomfortable, and because sometimes that's how we end up getting resolutions, or we get those talks out there, is by being uncomfortable. So to invoke either someone to clap and cheer or to be angry, because sometimes when you're angry, you might be more open to have that conversation. And to ask what a villain is, it's like 1,001 definitions for that, or there's going to be a different definition from every person that you ask. So I like that. I like the fact that I'm going to go into the story not expecting anything, but expecting everything.
Yep.
I love that feeling. Again, layers of things. So if it goes over your head, you can still enjoy the story for what it is and go, damn, that was a read. Or you can sit back and like, okay, great. So I love the fact that you're putting that in there, and also taking a real world event and
Shatter's a
blending it
character.
in there.
Like, if you were as a Black man in society seeing all this stuff, and you've seen it for years, and you've come to a point where you're completely fed up, but there's also something else that you're right on the edge because of that, and then something else kind of knocks you right over.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens after that point? It's like a very an introspective look into the psyche of us as men, and us as oppressed men. But also I feel like women will be able to relate to Shatter's character, because again, he kind of represents everyone in terms of just really a person that is looking at society and like, how can I basically put like a roadblock between like where we're going is not a good look. How can I put a roadblock between that, but in the most crazy way? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's really a wild story, and the art's crazy. I'm sorry, continue, man. I'm about to go on here.
No, that shows passion. That shows that y'all love this story. That shows that y'all love this, which makes me want to read more of it. So I love that. If you can't help but gush, then that's a good thing. If you're sitting there like, yeah, well, so yeah, man, it's gonna be a comic. We're gonna do stuff. It's gonna be
like,
you pick your teeth and everything
right now. Man,
yeah,
dudes up his show.
You sitting there playing Madden and they're like, yeah. So I love that. Are you gonna be releasing this in issues or as like a graphic novel?
So there's I forgot the term for it, but it's a term that I just discovered I think a few months ago. It's like a mix between a single issue and a graphic novel. It's not as long as a graphic novel. I forgot what they call it though, but that's what we're aiming for, because we're gonna try to do 3 issues, I believe, right?
Okay.
One book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1 book. Yeah. So and we had discussed, if possible, like a stretch goal to actually make it a whole graphic novel where we can do maybe 120 pages. So that would be dope. Like if we have the stretch goal where we can put 4 issues in into one, but we'll see what happens.
I'm already ready to like hit the Kickstarter app on my. It's not even in there, but I'm ready to already pledge. Like that's how I feel. Yeah, I'm in between a graphic novel and a single issue.
Yeah, I forgot what they call it.
Because graphic novels are what you typically like. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 books in one. So you're talking like
usually about
80 pages. Like we're looking at about 30, 60. You're like we're looking at above a little over 60, right, Newton, for like three books, 3 comics in one collected edition.
Yeah, maybe like 70 or something.
Novella? No, that's not.
But it's like a
Yeah,
novella, but a comic
like
book
that.
version of a
Okay.
novella.
All
Yeah.
right. See, now you definitely piqued my interest because now after this, I'm going to look up that word because I got to know what this word is because I want to use it.
There
To be
might
honest
even
with
be
you.
a category for it in the what do you call it? One of the comic awards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have to, yeah, because there are a lot of categories. All right. Yeah, I'm going to check that out
I
now.
wonder, you know what? It might just be a graphic novella. Because I'm
But
looking
why
at it
does that
now.
sound so familiar? Why does that
Really
sound?
does though. I don't even know
Yeah.
how, because yeah, we talked about this new news just a while ago, and we're both having bad memories here.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, so either a graphic novella or actual graphic comic. Because the story itself is deep, and just to do issue by issue would work, but you really need to consume at least 3 chapters to really get into that world, feel the characters, and kind of get a sense of where we're going. Because after the first issue, you'll be like, oh, this is cool, but there's so much more. We don't want you to stop there. There's a lot more to the story before we could even say, we would feel comfortable saying, here, this is the intro to the world that we're creating.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Because I I love a good graphic novel or graphic novella. I swear that term just sounds so familiar.
it does.
But to have it be a story where it gets in depth, like having it only one is nice. But if you can go, like maybe that certain amount of pages in each one, and you get deeper into, you get more engrossed in it, and then at the end you're like, all right, let me go back and reread it because I want to make sure that I got everything. Like I love that depth of story and not just the surface of it. Um, and you will be doing a Kickstarter for it,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
definitely.
Um, yeah, TJ and I, we've had a little success with Kickstarter, so we figured, why not?
I mean, Crescent City Monsters, Okemus. I mean, yeah, you guys had a little bit, a
Yeah, just a
little
little
bit,
bit. Yeah, we figured, we'll try our luck, see what
you know.
happens. Roll the dice. You know?
He definitely is humble, and everyone when he came out, he was ready. The nurse said he ready. This man is ready to go now. He's ready to drop it. He needs that now.
That boy ready.
That he's like, oh, he's already
He
writing. Look
ready.
at him. Look at him typing
He's
already. Look at it. Boy's good.
came out like.
And like he was like when I was in the womb, I was starting to plot out this story. The womb has like all the words written inside, like how like the caveman had like the pictures and such like they already there.
Oh, yo,
That's how you know the heart is there.
you just gave me an idea for a comic book now.
Oh damn! That's how quick it happens, folks. That's how quick it happens with creatives. Any little thing, man. I got to tie my shoelace. Oh, that's gonna be a story right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
That's it.
that womb idea. That's a great way to start a comic book.
I
Like somebody in the
mean,
womb and like the womb showing like some kind of words or images and the baby looking at it. Yo, that's dope.
Mhm.
I
Yo,
mean, if you really want to,
nobody take that. All right, I got that.
The writing's on the wall, ladies and gentlemen.
that's the.
That's the title
Oh,
right there.
I
Writing
see
on
it.
the wall.
I see another collaboration between TJ and Newton. That's it. It happens that quick, folks. That's how quick it happens. You never know what's going to inspire somebody, and I love that. That's what I love because I honestly sometimes I wonder like if you guys are like at cons, you're just sitting there and you're just like, you need books and you're having a conversation with somebody. All of a sudden you see something and you go, you start writing, you start jotting down little lines. Oh, I'm just wondering. Next thing that following con, they're like, yeah, this story was inspired by somebody that tripped over there in that corner and they spelled barbecue sauce on their shirt. And I was like,
Mhm.
what if the barbecue sauce was the one that, and you just start going through it, and that's it. It happens that quick, and it's a beautiful thing. I love that. Now,
Yeah.
you both have been in the comic book industry for quite a while. You've seen a lot of things, I'm sure, going to cons and just interactions and such like that, what have you. And you've both been in nerd and geek spaces for quite a while as well. What do you think is one of the biggest problems in the comic book industry and also in the nerd and geek spaces?
Soap and water at a convention.
This boy ain't lying. He's spitting
Uh,
truth.
A good clean shower, ladies and gentlemen. Please help us out. You know what I'm saying? Come to a con
Wipes.
with
I'm
some
I'm
wipes, something. You
I'm
know,
happy with wipes, bro. To just freshen up. I'm good.
good lord, some Axe body spray. I mean, that shit kind of, excuse me, stuff kind of smells a little weird, but you know, something else in that vein, some cologne, something.
Yeah,
but then it would just be BO and cologne. You don't want that.
that's
You know
weird.
what I'm saying?
That's a weird mix, isn't it? That's a hard. And you know when
That's
you walk in the
another
room, you
comic
go,
story right there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yo.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but search what's something that I mean because there unfortunately we hear a lot of stories, especially last summer. I want to say I want to say this was either before or after. Well, there's always been racial unrest here in America. There's no before or after. It started that way, where there were like a lot speaking out, and we heard big names being a part of the speaking out. And we've also heard a lot of stories about a company wouldn't take because of the color of your skin or because of who you decided to lay with or who you fell in love with. We hear a lot of stories about that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of toxicity and BS and poisonous mess that goes on as far as in industry and in the nerd geek spaces. But what do you think are like as far as both of you, like what do you think are one of the biggest problems that's going on?
It's a great question, man. Go ahead, Newton.
For me, I guess one of the biggest things is the ability to accept changes, right? Because so when I started reading comics, I was like 11 years old. I mean, seriously, reading comics, I was 11 years old. So one of the things I enjoyed about comics was the reading the comics and knowing the history of the characters. So you'd read like Spider-Man, and so you knew all the trials and tribulations he went through. You know who his first girlfriend was. Then you know about Gwen. Then you knew there was Mary Jane, and like the history and all how it
Mm-hmm.
builds up to each other and how the characters interact with each other and like how and not just one series but across. So and that was part for me, that was part of the fun of reading comic books, right? Just being immersed in that world and knowing the characters, right? I used to read Marvel universes, and I used to love like reading their bios and just like picking up stuff that I had, like especially villains or heroes that I don't see a lot in comics, and just reading about them and understanding their connection to the Marvel universe. So I was a big fan of that. So as time went on, though, one of the things that really like, because I had a love-hate affair with comic books, because as time went on, you know how Marvel, they like to switch things up and change things. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
things really got complicated, and like there was a point where I remember like, damn, all the stuff that I knew about a particular character is gone now. It's like they doing this reboot and stuff. So I was frustrated. So, and the reason I say this is because I'm kind of leading to the fact that um, that's how I felt like as a comic fan. But then I kind of got over it because I realized like when they reboot something, it's really for the new comic people, right? Or people being
Mm-hmm.
reintroduced to comics. And then I learned like, okay, this is something that they're doing for the new comic fans. And let me look at it from this point of view, not like the the history of comics that I knew. Like, let me look at it from this new point of view. And so, I changed my way of thought, and I appreciated a little bit more of the changes that they were making. So I find that comic people, they're less inclined to accept some of the changes that's going on culturally.
Yeah.
And they're the negative and the feedback that they provide, is really is mind-boggling to me, because like I said, I understand the frustration of your heroes, the way you're used to a hero a certain way, right? Because you've been following them for so long, and then all of a sudden they switch it up on you, and you're a little frustrated because you're a fan, you're deeply emotionally invested in that world. So when they change it in a way that you don't recognize, I recognize that frustration. But then some fans take it to a level that just isn't necessary, where they completely try to destruct or criticize and just say, hey, this is completely bad, without, I don't think, really without an effort in trying to understand what's going on and why this change is going on, and maybe looking at it from a different point of view and saying, okay, I see what they're trying to do. I may not like it, but I see what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it, and not react in such a negative way, like, so, you know, um, comic book companies are trying to include more people of different sexual orientations, people of color, and you see the backlash that has sometimes, and it's like, I mean, it's an incredibly, like, hey, this is just comics, let's calm down, kind of backlash. So I think that's one of the things that some of these comic creators, I mean, comic collectors and readers need to kind of just recognize, like, hey, comics are the medium and the stories are always going to change. They're always going to be try to be a reflection of what's going on in society. And a lot of people say, hey, I want to escape. I, Comics is a way for me to escape, but there's always been some kind of political context to comics. In fact, going back to the days of the original Superman, they use it for propaganda for against the Nazis.
Yep.
So it's like comics saying that politics doesn't belong in comics, or comics is a total escapism that that shouldn't include what's happening in the real world, is kind of unrealistic. That it's just going to happen. So I think people who are fans of comic books should just accept it. I'm not saying that you should like it. I'm just saying you should be a little bit more accepting of it and trying to understand why it's happening. That's the area of improvement that I think geekdom can really try to work on.
Yeah, it's always funny to hear that to hear somebody say politics doesn't belong in comics. Meanwhile, they'll have all those X-Men issues and graphic novels and tomes on their bookshelf right behind them, and not even realize it. That's one of the most political comics to ever be around, and still to this day with Hickman's run, it even hits more on politics and what's happening. But they'll never see that. That's always very ironic to me. Now, TJ, you did have a good point about hygiene and soap and water. I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna push that off, because especially unfortunately in these times where we have to be careful about washing our hands even more. We found out that people were not washing their hands. We found out we had to put like decals on mirrors to tell people this is how you wash your hands. This is how long you should wash your hands. We had to do that. That needs to sink in.
Real thing, man.
We are grown ass people. I mean, paying taxes. You looking for coupons for supermarkets because you got to pick up a few things. This is a legit thing. So I'm not like overlooking it because it's real. And with con crud that happens, because again, and I've seen so many creators pull out. They'll give them if somebody buy a comic, thank you, what have you, right after. That hand sanitizer. I'm never offended because I pull my bottle out too. I'm like, so we were just gonna do this together. We just gonna be safe together.
Yeah, what's funny? So even before COVID, one of the devices I got for someone, because when I started, I didn't really start doing cons first. My comic book journey started online first. I did the web comic thing, and then went to Kickstarter.
That's right.
And so cons wasn't like the first intro to the comic world for me, right? And then once I started doing cons, I started getting little tidbit advices, and one of the advice even before COVID was, bring like hand sanitizer. It was two things. Bring a seat cushion, right? Always bring a seat
Sure,
cushion
yeah.
because you're gonna be sitting down a lot, and your ass needs to be very comfortable.
For
And
real.
then, and then, and then always bring like some hand sanitizer
Yeah.
because there's so many people there, you get sick. So and this was
Mhm.
even before COVID. So I used to always bring hand sanitizer. I used to always have it on my table. So now imagine COVID. Now the stakes are even
Right.
higher.
The very first con I ever did was San Diego Comic-Con, and
Oh my God. I couldn't imagine.
thousands of people. I mean, that's the first and only time I ever got con cred, but that shit hit me. Excuse me, that stuff hit me like a freight train. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro. I mean, and I've heard crazier stories about how like friends of mine in the industry have gotten pneumonia and you know what I'm saying, crazy infections, upper
Oh
respiratory. You know what I'm
God.
saying, from and been hospitalized because of con crud. So
Mm.
good hygiene, taking care of yourself, resting up, you know what I'm saying, making sure that you are feeling good and healthy or you're not sick before a con comes up is a big thing. Um,
Yeah.
you know, but one thing I was going to quickly just piggyback on what Newton said earlier. I completely agree with that. And it's kind of weird how we both were thinking the same thing. And then, my man says it first, this is how we're
That's it.
tuned over here. Uh, like ESPN,
That's it.
ESPN. So it's ESP and then Newton. There it is.
I like
That's
that.
it. That's it.
Yeah,
But for real, man, biggest thing for me is on real talk, like comics are about the unique expression of everyone's life. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
Mhm.
want to make a story about something that you've experienced, that's the beautiful part about comics. Everybody has the opportunity to do that. So for people to get up on their little soapbox and say, hey, well, we don't want politics in our comics. We don't want SJW stuff. We don't want this. We don't
Oh,
want that. We want our superheroes to be white bread, square jawed men with women who are drawn and created unrealistically and are not intelligent, you know what I'm saying, in these stories. And it's like, this is what they want. But it's like, that might have worked in 1940, but, in 2021, everybody thinks and feels differently and wants to speak out about politics. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, if there's plenty for everybody, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't like those types of stories, you don't have to buy them. But just like there's this culture of like, let's go on Twitter, let's complain about it, let's try to cancel culture, let's try to do this, let's try to do that. And it's like, I mean, when Dan Slott was on that Spider-Man run, dude was
oh
getting
my
death threats,
God.
like
Yeah.
death threats over a fictional character. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, please, it's
Mhm.
comic books. It's supposed to be fun. It's not life and death. You know what I'm saying? Like, these characters aren't going anywhere. They really aren't. They'll be around forever. So they're going to do stuff to kind of get your attention here and there. And you got to be able to ebb and flow. You got to be able to take it, not take yourself and the medium as seriously, because again, it is entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. And yeah, be flexible. If I wasn't saying anything, try to be flexible, try to be open-minded. And again, if there is something that's preaching hate or negativity towards a group, just, steer clear of that, man, because that type of stuff is just not good for business. It's not good for anybody, and not good for the progression of comic books as a whole.
Exactly. It's just, yeah, it always just throws me through a loop when I hear somebody talk or like read somebody say something, because usually reading it, you don't hear them in person. You usually see them typing it out very well, but when you see them in person, they're very quiet. They're off in a corner somewhere, not saying it. But when they get home, they're gonna type real hard and they're gonna type real angry about nothing, unfortunately. But the words that you're saying are completely true. Unfortunately, and it makes no sense. Yeah, for someone to write a comic book about a character, Peter Parker, who, even if you're not into comics, you know who Peter Parker is. That's how iconic he is. Like it's him and Superman are two of the most iconic characters around. Like you can go, like somebody had a saying once. They said you could go to like the jungles of Africa, like the deepest, darkest place where like there's no signal, what have you. You show them the Superman symbol, they know who he is. And this person has never read a comic book, but they know who that is. So to get death threats over the fact that someone new is writing it, and it's a story that line that you don't like. That's something that I'm going to talk about in a couple minutes, actually. Because I was already thinking about that ridiculous bullshit, and you can say shit on here. That's fine.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I got a dirty mouth, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Greg Anderson and Lisa, because we're working on a filthy book together.
Man,
that too. We're gonna be on this podcast talking all kinds of wild stuff. But
Greg just talking wild stuff in his sleep. Like Greg just says whatever Greg gonna say.
That's it.
My favorite saying is Greg going Greg. Like that's the only thing I can say.
Greg.
Greg going Greg. Like if you see Greg on IG and he's just like shirtless, you like, well, Greg going Greg. All right, cool.
Triple G.
I mean, that's it. That's it. Yeah. I mean, basically, or like, what would Greg do? Anything. Just for real. Greg is that dude that when you see him, it's like, all right, cool. Greg is here. All right, it's gonna be all right. So, with you both creating these incredible stories and these artworks and such as well, what do you want people to take away from your works? And what do you want your legacies to be?
Yeah, I'll quickly.
That's a deep one. My fault. That's a very deep story for a guy called the Hungry Bleek. I apologize. That was a very deep question. You didn't expect that.
That's a great question, man. I mean, I think about, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I admire Newton because, Newton is a father, and, I'm saying, he's got his legacy. He looks at his legacy every single day, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, besides being, an amazing dad and then trying to, tell these great stories, he's got lots of different levels to what he's doing. I'm a single guy. I don't have no kids. So right now my comic business is my legacy, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the legacy I'm trying to leave is basically a creator that really cares about the fans, you know what I'm saying? That really cares about, because I'm a fan too. I was born a comic book fan, probably right out the womb. I just stepped out, like, you know what I'm saying? Where's my issues? You know what I'm saying?
That's it. I need that paper bag and board, baby. Where's that bag and board?
Bag and board already. I need it. You know what I mean? So I've always loved comics and I've always been a fan. So I approach all the stuff I create from fans' perspective. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go out as having that legacy of unique stories, stuff that you haven't seen before, that unique interpretation, stuff that hasn't been done. A really dope perspective, but also just a great guy that loves, people, you know what I'm saying? That when you see him at a con, it's all love, you know what I'm saying? Like when I, meet kids who want to do what we do, you know what I'm saying? And they see like, oh man, like this guy's doing something and he looks like me. I know I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have anybody that looked like me that was drawing comic books. So it was hard to find the inspiration. I found the inspiration in the characters, but finding inspiration in the creators is like incredibly powerful to me, because you're just influencing the next generation to take up the mantle and do even bigger and better stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be that $1 billion Black comic book company or Black media company that can do what Disney does, but even better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And because it's all our stuff, like the Black dollar is $1 billion, is a $1 trillion business. It can go anywhere in any world and do anything. So, inspiring the next generation for sure, being a real guy, and then also just, creating great stories, that are going to be remembered for years to come.
That is a beautiful thing. Absolutely. And what about you, Newton?
So for me, TJ touched on it. I'm a father. I have 2 beautiful daughters. So they're my legacy. I want my grandkids, my children's children, to be able to kind of look and say, wow, granddad did this, okay, this is where I come from, this is my blood. And I want them to look at my body of work and be able to be inspired by it, and them to even be better than me, like to do some crazy off the wall shit, to be like, my name is going to be a footnote in their, history. But that's for me, that's my legacy. Everything I do, I want my family, my future kids to be able to look at it and say, oh, this is where I come from. This is, this is something that I I can do too, because it's in my blood. So and I want them to be able to look at what I'm doing and kind of be able to analyze it. And like, let's say, you know, they never really got to know me, you know, and but they'll be able to understand what I'm about by looking at my the things that I create, you know. And you know, there's always a little piece of me in my creations, so I want them to be able to find it that way, you know. So that's my goal. That's in terms of the legacy that I want to leave behind.
That was probably one of the most beautiful and fatherly things that I could have ever heard from someone. He said, "I want to be a footnote." Yeah, that was like, I already knew that you were this dude, this father from the first issue of Crescent City. I'll tell the story until the day I die. When I got the package from the Kickstarter, and in the letter it said, me and my daughter, and I was like, that's what's up. You know, that was including and showing, well, this is what dad does. This is, you know, like, that was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever, and I was reading it and I was like, damn, I was like, wow. And it made reading that issue all the better. And the packaging was immaculate. This man does some of the best, and that's a big thing with me too, is how you deliver your comics to me. Because there was someone who did, I'm not gonna say the name, there was someone who delivered a comic to me in a bag, no board.
Oh my gosh.
And it's unfortunate because incredible creator, incredible comic, but I was like, what is this? And then I can't remember if it was before or after. Then I got this issue of Crescent City, and I'm like, what? I'm like, this is the board, everything. It was so nice. I took that sticker, the Dream Fury comic sticker. It was, what was it, like red or like a kind of an orangish looking color?
Yeah, it was red. Yeah.
I peeled it off of the cardboard box and put it on my laptop at the time. And because of the quality of the damn sticker and everything, it stuck on there perfectly for years. I still have it for years. It might be for years. It was, I think it was this one actually.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
On the case, I always put there's another one of yours that I always put like the stickers that I have. But yeah, it peeled off effortlessly. No, the other orange one. No, there was another one that was a circle. I have that one on. I think it might be on actually the back of my laptop. But that's what's up. That just showed me this man's quality, and not just the quality of his product, but also the quality of his character. So you saying that footnote line, damn, man. All right, cool. I mean, geez. All right, man. Just Newton sets the bar so high for dads. You like, oh, let me just go for some Newports and not come back, I guess, because I can't compare to Newton. Seriously. Awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate you, man. And it's funny being a father. Your kids, like my daughters are like teenagers now, and you know they really don't like go, oh wow, Dad, you're a comic book creator. They're just like, oh yeah, that's Dad doing this comic book stuff. Yeah, but the one thing I realize is that as a parent is like, your kids, even though like currently they don't really like watch you, like they don't really make a big deal out of what you do, and it seems like they practically ignore you. They're still watching you. Like when they get to be adults, they're going to use what you were doing as reference, because now they're like adults, and so they're doing adult things, and they're gonna be like, hey, what did my dad do? You know, so I'm really doing what I'm doing. I know is going to affect them in the future. So that's the way I look at it. You know.
TJ, we have such huge shoes to fill if we choose to be parents. We have
it's true.
These incredible shoes to fill, and I'm going to tap out now.
To realize they're going to be called. That's what we need to realize.
For real. I'm gonna tap out, so it's all on you, TJ. I'm gonna tap out now. It's all sorry, man. Sorry to do that to you, brother, but it's all on you, TJ. It's all you. You're gonna do a good job. Don't worry about it. You're gonna do
Let's
a good
see,
job.
15 years later, TA is gonna have 10 children.
Watch it. I'm about to be busy, man. I'm about to be getting busy. Let's go.
You're gonna need all the Gatorade, all the water possible.
Good
He said
Lord.
15 kids, man. All right, damn. Whoa. Whew. Jeez. Man, make my neck hot. All right, cool. Bet. That's exactly why I typed out, because I don't like chafing. That's ridiculous. So you're both in the space, and you not only create, but you also take in a lot of content out there. What are 3 of your favorite properties out there, like movies, comics, TV shows, novels, what have you? Let's start with you, Newton. What are 3 of your favorites?
3 of my favorites, huh? So one of the best comic series that I really got into. This is a series that I don't think a lot of people have heard of it. I'm not sure if they have, but it's called Southern Bastards.
Oh,
Yeah. So let me see if I got. Yeah. So here it is.
so Jason Aaron, right?
Yeah, Jason Aaron and Jason Latour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the hardcover. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and I think I got this signed too. Let me see if.
Damn, man, you gonna show off?
Yeah,
right. I didn't know you were gonna do all that.
And so check it out.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah. So I love this series, man. It's really good. I haven't caught up on the latest, but I've read the first 16 issues, and this is really good. This is a good series. I love it because it kind of reminds me. I haven't been excited about like a regular. This is not mainstream, but it's definitely not independent. Well, as independent as TJ and I are, I should say. But
Sure.
I haven't been excited about a series like this since Walking Dead. I used to be a big fan of Walking Dead, even before the TV series came out. So, but this here is one of my favorites. As in terms of independent comic books, I like Malika, Okemos. And one of my favorites too is David F. Walker. He's created a lot of series, but my absolute favorite, and he's only made 1 issue. I just wish he would dedicate his time to this series. So David, if you're listening, drop everything you're doing and please continue on The Hated.
Yes.
The Hated is my joint right there. And Tim Fields, he did a graphic novel, Infinitum. I'm probably
Infinitum.
Infinitum.
I think between us we said it right.
Yeah,
one of those takes
yeah.
is said right.
Yeah, you could just like chop it up together. You get the right. So but yeah, that I read that blew my mind. That was really good. So those are the couple. There's a lot more I could go into, but right now, right off the bat, in terms of just artistic layer, that's what I love. I'm trying to find. I was trying to cheat because I know you said 3. There's one more book that I know I'm forgetting that I want to mention, but I guess I'll hand it over to TJ.
Well, man, there's so much great stuff out there. It's hard to choose one, but definitely, you know what? If you have the time and you're able to read the rest of Southern Bastards, because I'm caught up. I don't know if he's going to be coming back to it anytime soon, but I'm caught up. It gets even better. Definitely does. Nice. TJ, what about you, man?
It's incredible. I'm going to check that out. I like always discovering new indie stuff. What was I going to say? So one of my favorite comic series of all time, and since we're talking about Mr. David Walker, is Bitterroot. I mean, I love that. Love it. And I'm just so happy to see that it's getting picked up and that they're so heavily involved with it, man. I think that's going to be really dope. And see, for me too, like I'm such a huge fan of artwork since I draw, I've been drawing comics forever. So it's like the art that Sanford does is amazing. And I'm personal friends with Sanford. So it's like, I just love watching that dude work. You know what I'm saying? It's really impressive for me to see how effortlessly he creates characters and the mood and movement within each thing, whether it's the clothing or expressions, you know what I'm saying, or whether he's drawing weapons. It's really pretty powerful stuff. I was a humongous Invincible fan of the comic series when it was out, in the early 2000s. I read almost every single book. I don't think I actually finished the last, few issues because I've been kind of waiting to do that. But I loved Invincible. I loved the Dragon Ball Z inspiration. I love the manga inspiration. It just felt to me like, Superman and Spider-Man mixed together, but with like, in a manga style story, you know what I'm saying? The grandeur of it. So something I'm still trying to finish reading. What is it called? I always go back to Berserk. I've read everything that Berserk has to offer. The creator passed away a little while ago.
Yeah.
But it's such a robust story that covers so many different topics. And we talk about layering with different characters and different, stories within a story. The Berserk manga really captures that pretty effortlessly, and it's been around forever, probably longer than I've been alive, which is kind of hard to believe. But it's like, yeah, this story's been around for a minute, and they've been doing a thing, and I love that. And I'm gonna give you a number 4 just because I'm really kind of hooked on this. Is Thomas River by Brian Stelfreeze right now? I think is
yes,
really, really cool, and I love where they're going with it, and I'm super excited to see what the second arc looks like, because I'm just like, bro, like I need more. Don't just do this to me, man. But those are my picks at the moment.
You're making me want to go back and read Thomas River. You're making me want to go back and reread Southern Bastards. Invincible has one of the best endings of any comic that I read, because I read the whole thing. I was late and I had to catch up, so I was buying 2 trades at a time. And I would come home from New York on the train, and I would finish a trade on the train. I'd fall asleep. I'd get up Sunday, what have you, and I'd read the second trade, and I'd be like, damn, now I need those other trades. And when I finally caught up and I got to it, and I was like, wow, because Kirkman has this way of writing which is effortless to read. It seems to flow almost like music, like it just goes through, and you're like, I read the whole thing. I didn't even know. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, you could just sit and just read him all day and not even realize that 24 hours has passed.
His pacing is really good.
Yeah, it's always so great. Those are great. And yeah, Thomas River is awesome. I do want more Thomas River, and I do want more The Hated. The Hated, that scene with the scars on both their backs, I was like, like that. It hit just right. That I'm gonna have to go reread that too. Damn, I thought I was just going to chill tomorrow and just relax, but I guess I'm gonna be just chilling with that reading. But they're not bad reads, and they're great choices. All right, so the most important question of anything I'm going to ask you today. I think this is where the nation needs to be at. I think this is what we need to focus on as people. What do y'all have for dinner tonight? Bet. What is on the table tonight? I don't care if it's PB&J. I don't care if it's pizza. I don't care if it's whatever. What do y'all have for dinner tonight? TJ, hit me. What you got, man?
Oh man, so I do the veggie thing 90% of the time. I'm
okay.
Really much most all the time I'm doing veggies, trying to get my healthy on. Okay. So I was thinking about sauteing up some vegetables, getting a nice little medley on some zucchini pasta or something, maybe some quinoa in there.
All right.
But I think I'm just going to do a fancy protein shake tonight. You know what I'm saying? Mangoes, strawberries, bananas, peaches, a little bit of kiwi in there, some hemp protein powder, a little bit of almond milk, some coconut water, just bam, 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 So that's what I'm doing tonight for dinner.
That sounds incredible. I appreciate you looking at doing the health thing, everything like that. I appreciate everything you had in that protein shake. You haven't made it yet, but I appreciate everything that's in there. And everything's just going to make you live till about 10,000 years old. That's amazing. Everything that's in there.
I'll be that old dude in the comics, just walking around with my cane, just like I'm look. Can we be Stanley Newton, you and me, like the black Stanley?
What about you, Newton? What you got tonight?
So I've been trying to be on that healthy kick, like TJ. TJ is way better at it than me because I think we went out to eat at some Ethiopian restaurant, and at that time we were at BlurredCon, and I was just coming off 7 months of no meat, right? I don't want to even call it vegetarian because a lot of people like what a vegetarian is. People argue a lot, so I just say no meat. Right? So I just came off of that, and I was really tired from the con, and I was like, yo, I need my protein. Let me get some chicken. But meanwhile, TJ, he was just on that veggie kick. He was like, just big plate of veggies. So, shout out to TJ, very dedicated to that, man. I wish I could be. But I'm still on a reduced meat diet. So what I'm doing tonight is I love Beyond Burger. It really is good. I like it better than Impossible Burger. Some people like Impossible Burger, but I love Beyond Burger. So I'm gonna cook a couple of those, and then I'm gonna top it off with kombucha. It's that fermented black tea. I've been drinking that like it was crack lately. But one particular brand is the KT Classic. And I like it because it's kind of cheating because I haven't been, I've been like, hey, I'm not going to drink as much as I used to. So like my alcohol consumption has gone down tremendously.
Right.
Like I rarely drink, right? And I say that because there was a point in my life when I wasn't alcoholic, but I used to drink like, oof, like, and I used to drink like the hard stuff. Like I wasn't even a beer person. I was just like pure liquor, like whiskey, vodka, whatever. Anyway, so kombucha, the one the brand I have has just a little bit alcohol. So it's like, so I'm like, I'm getting my nightly buzz off of that. Now I'm a lightweight, 5% alcohol, and I'm like, oh, and
Sleeping in the corner.
Yeah, no longer takes 90 proof to, get me lit. So yeah, that's what I'm having. And maybe a side of this might be a little bit more unhealthy because it's got a lot of sodium. But now I always have a bowl of tortilla chips, scoop chips, along with my Beyond Burger, my kombucha. So it's like that's it right there for me. That's the summer meal that hits the spot.
That I appreciate that. Yeah, I actually went all of January without any meat. I started doing like Beyond Burger. I started doing like can't remember the name of the company, but they did like fake chicken strips, like fake fish, like stuff like that, like more plant-based. Thank you. Yes, thank you, sir. Them. And I've kind of pulled back on them a little bit just because it was like still processed and stuff like that. I do like Beyond, but I think I am more Impossible.
Me too.
I'm going to be honest. I'm at the point where I even like I'll not just get their patties, but I'll also get like their ground beef, like quote unquote, and I'll mix that into like stuff, like just to have it in there. It just, I don't know, for some reason the taste of it just has a better texture to it too, because I'm a texture person. Like textures can really mess me up. But yeah, and I enjoy it. So I've actually been reduced the meat also. I'm at about 70, maybe 80% of plant-based, depending on the week. Because sometimes I'm like, look, if a cow walks by me, I can't be responsible.
What happens?
I mean, if you come by me talking about moo and I got a bottle of barbecue sauce, we both in trouble. I don't know what to tell you. I haven't had pork in like maybe over 10 years, maybe around something like that, what have you. But yeah, that plant-based, I do feel better. I do definitely feel a definite difference. Alcohol wise, I had a drink maybe a couple of months ago, and I was drinking it, and first off, it wasn't the type of beer that I like, so I shouldn't have been drinking it anyway. I had like a Budweiser, which I don't drink. I normally have Blue Moon. I was drinking that. I was like, this is nasty. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done. And I just pushed it to the side. I was like, it didn't hit me anymore. It didn't hit me like it used to. I used to love it. Yeah. Like I was a beer person, but I went tequila was my go-to. Tequila, mezcal.
Oh,
Nobody
mezcal.
ever.
Yeah, I love mezcal.
Gosh.
Delicious.
A nice smoky flavor.
Dude, if you get, there was this tequila that I loved, Cuervo Familia, I think it was, where there was no burn. It just was so smooth. It was like velvet. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, why?
Antonio, my go-to drink when I was in Cali last weekend was, and I had like 3 of them at various different places, was a mezcal old fashioned. So instead of
Oh,
whiskey, they infused
nice.
it with the mezcal. It was incredible. I was like, bro, this is my shit right here. It's real good.
All right.
You gotta stop because I'm gonna
Whoa.
start drinking again.
I bet. Damn. Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, this
This is it.
we're turning from alcoholics and not what is it,
That's
101 or anonymous, whatever that shit is. Yeah.
Look, tell you what. If the three of us happen to be at the same place at the same time,
It's a wrap.
we'll have one drink, and we're good.
Nah, it doesn't work like that for me. Like,
You broke the whole mood. It was like,
It's like, nah, man. 1,
it's,
2, 3,
yeah,
4, 5.
it's either all or nothing. That's the way I operate.
That's the thing. Like, if anybody who's watching this who has not been to a con or hasn't been a part of the professional convention scene, it's a party, and it's a party all the time. So you do San Diego or in New York, and if you're invited to one of these DC parties or Webtoons or whoever is hosting a party, most of the time it's free alcohol the entire night. Most of the time it's free hors d'oeuvres the entire night. And like I said, we've been killing ourselves, working all day, so we just go ham. You know what I mean? And then the rest of the weekend's a blur. I can't even tell you what will happen after that.
I'm not mad at y'all for that at all. I mean, and I can't blame you because I actually went out once after a con, and like we didn't go to a party or anything like that. We all went to dinner and stuff like that, and I love seeing everybody at their tables, and you'll see it's almost like hoods, like you who you repping, who you clicked up with, who you like where you, and it's like you want to go across the street to go to your friend's house. So you might have somebody else at the table, and you'll go over there, check out what they're doing. They'll return the favor, come back to yours, and I love seeing that vibe and that flow. It's I do miss it. I wish I could be at New York Comic Con this year for that, but I don't want to be there because of everything else that's going on, unfortunately, with pandemic and health concerns. But seeing everybody light up, seeing this energy that's in there, not just from the creators sitting there with each other, going back and forth and smiling and laughing, what have you, but then also seeing you with your fans, whether it's a new fan, whether it's an old fan, whether it's someone that you just created as a fan by talking about your book and they just saw it. Either way, I do miss that. But hopefully we'll get to a point where we can all be at the same place at the same time and just be like, and just exhaling. All right, we're here. We made it through everything, and just enjoy a really great con.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the fans.
Yeah. But on that note, you saying it's all about the fans. Let me just have a second here. Let me bend your ear, folks. I want to talk about something real quick, which is today, because I record these episodes early. So today actually is the day Suicide Squad comes out. Actually, it came out yesterday, Thursday, but everybody will pretty much be going to see it Friday or during the course of the weekend, what have you. When new things usually come out, people want to spoil stuff or people want to argue about it. If you don't like something, that's cool. If you do like something, that's cool. Don't take time don't at midnight start talking, oh man, did you see that scene with the, it's not necessary. That means you're a dick. Just stop.
Mm-hmm. Thank
you.
I
also want to talk about what these two incredible people were talking about earlier. And that was the fandom and how toxic it can be and how ridiculous it can be, how poisonous it can be. We're all trying to have fun. We're all trying to read these incredible works, whether you're reading print, whether you're reading digital, whether you're reading indie, whether you're reading big books. You really should be reading some more indie stuff, though, because there are a lot of great stories out there. Two indie creators are right here on the screen. I'm just saying. I'll have their links in the bios. Don't worry about it. I'm saying. But we have to get off this kick of everything has to be a fight or an argument. Stop. It doesn't have to be. If that person doesn't like it, it's cool. A cool debate is all right. I have no issue with that at all. But when y'all get to the point where y'all are arguing and you're typing mad hard because you want to get it out, but then in person you're really quiet, you're off in the corner somewhere just waiting and seeing, then there's a problem. You have an issue. Okay. I'm not trying to talk negatively to you, but I think you should actually talk to somebody about that because there's enough negativity in the world. We don't need that. We're all trying to have fun. We're all trying to watch a TV series. We're all trying to read a comic, stuff like that. He-Man came out. People were mad. First off, some people who were mad weren't even alive for the original He-Man. Secondly, it was a continuation of the original. And I enjoyed it for what it was. And I enjoyed some of the layers that they had in there, some of the subtle jokes. It was cool. Some people were really mad about this. I think y'all need to calm down. I think y'all need to sit down. I think you need to have a big bottle of water, hydrate yourself and think about
cleanse the system.
I'm saying, because guess what? Rent still due on the 1st. Your ass still needs to be washed. And you can't be sitting there mad at this or what have you when you have not paid your rent and your ass is filthy, swampy, dirty because it's summertime. You got to relax. This is all about fun and taking things in. And like it was said, being able to escape what's going on. And yes, there will be some comics and TV shows and what have you that will have political stuff. A lot of comics do have political stuff. You know what you can do? If you're saying, oh, well, I wanted to read the original stuff. The other stuff was better. You can always go back. You can always order the original stuff. You can always go to Comixology and read the old issues. They pop up all the time. They're putting older comics on there all the time. You can go back and read that older stuff, but you're still going to be reading a political comic no matter what. If you're talking about, I don't like politics in my comics, but you're reading X-Men, you're reading one of the most political comics ever to exist because it's all about a group of people being ostracized. So here's my advice. Shut the fuck up. Sit down,
be cool,
relax, and chill. Okay? If you're that hot and heated, go take a shower. I know your ass needs it because your ass is swampy. I can smell it from here. And it's unfortunate. We've all had days where it's been a little too hot and we go, ooh, that's me. Okay, you know what we do? We jump in the shower, get ourselves freshed up. You take some wipes, you get yourself freshed up. Whatever you got to do. But like I said, drink some water, go take a shower. Rent's still due on the 1st. Relax, folks. Relax. And that is just my bleak perspective. That's it, folks. So on that note, I have been so lucky to have Lilavois, TJ Sterling, Villainus. They will be keeping you up on when everything is going to be starting, the Kickstarter and such like that. So go to their IG. I'll have the link in the description for the episode. Go to their IG and check out what's going on there as well. I love seeing updates on this. It's amazing. I cannot wait to go on my phone, swipe it, put in my code. I'm not going to show you, and then hit that little icon right there which says Kickstarter. And then it pops up, I hit it, and then I wait. And I see those incredible stretch goals get hit because they are going to be hit because these two are not new to the Kickstarter game. They know what they do. But most importantly, people know that it's quality they're going to be getting from them. So gentlemen, thank you so very much. I appreciate both of your efforts. I love your t-shirts. And I'm hoping that this Kickstarter has a t-shirt in it because if it does, I'm saying...
Oh, you already know. We're going to get it in there.
That's going to be my tier. That's going to be my tier or an add-on. I'm just saying, you already know. It's a given. Thank you so very much, gentlemen. I appreciate your time, your effort, your energy, your creative juices, everything you got flowing. Salute. Any final words for the people?
Yeah, just stay frosty. Peace.
No swamp ass, ladies and gentlemen.
It's no swamp ass. That's my slogan when I run for governor. I'm not running for governor. No, I'm not running for governor. So on that note, thank you very much. This has been the Hungry Bleek podcast. I am Antonio Pomadas, and as always, do the best you can with what you got because it's all you get, folks. All right, have a good one, and peace.
Peace.